Another quote from your book, Bill O'Reilly's success is built on the perception that he really is who he claims to be. If he ever gets caught out of character, it's over.
That's right.
That was Tucker Carlson back in 2003 talking to C-SPAN about Fox News host Bill O'Reilly. And while he seems to be critical of O'Reilly in what you're about to hear, later it's very clear that he took O'Reilly's career as an instructive path for his own. Let's watch.
I say before that Bill O'Reilly's really talented. He's more talented than I am. He's got a lot more viewers than I do. He's a better communicator than I am. But I think there's kind of a deep phoniness at the center of his shtick. And again, as I say, the shtick is sort of built on this perception that he is the character he plays. He is every man. This kind of he's not right wing. He's a populist. This kind of Irish Catholic populist fighting for you against the powers that be. And that's great as a shtick, but I'm just saying the moment that it's revealed not to be true, it's over. The moment he gets caught, slapping a flight attendant on the Concorde for not bringing his champagne fast enough, or barking at, one of his subordinates to take the, brown M&Ms out of my bowl and get me a bottle of Evian, or something like that. The second that makes page 6, it's over, right? Because the whole thing is predicated on the fact that he is who he says he is, and just. Nobody is that person, especially not someone who makes $1 million, or many millions a year.
Fascinating that he had such strong thoughts about the faux populism of Bill O'Reilly, considering Tucker Carlson's engaging in a lot of that himself these days. I know you have a lot to say about this, Cenk.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never seen anyone tell on him on a future self as much as he did there. So look, Tucker Carlson, we've said this many times on the show, is an interesting cat because he has done something that is very premeditated. He's not like a lot of the other right-wing hosts. As crazy as Glenn Beck is, I think he believes the things that he is saying. I think he's genuinely nuts. Alex Jones is massively nuts and genuinely so, etc. Now, there's tons of things that Beck and Jones and others lie about, but they generally are actually conservative and believe all those things, right? Tucker Carlson is very premeditated. He is copying Donald Trump and his actions almost exactly, like he's following a manual. We've told you about that dozens of times, right? And we've shown you examples of it. Here's what Trump does, here's what Tucker has done afterwards. This shows you the original manual. Before he copied Donald Trump, he copied Bill O'Reilly. So at some point within these last 20 years, that was exactly 20 years ago, he realized, wait, Bill O'Reilly's a better communicator than me, makes tens of millions of dollars per year. Why don't I just do what he's doing, right? So I'll develop a deep phoniness. The one thing he was wrong about in that clip, the only thing, was if you get caught, it's over.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I mean, back then, maybe. The standards, Americans had higher standards back then. And I think Americans today love to be lied to as long as the ones who are lying to them are members of their preferred political tribe. That's it.
Yeah, I think that, so look, all the other things, he says, be a fake populist. That'll work. That's exactly what he did, right? He's the heir to the Swanson fortune. He said in that clip, I mean, if you make like $1 million a year, first of all, he said no one is populist like that. And especially if you make that kind of money, you're not a populist. He makes way more. Yep. And that's him saying, of course I'm not a populist. It's a shtick, it's a shtick. But I think that the last cherry on top is what Anna was referring to. Look, Tucker at some point realized, and you could almost see it, and we almost trace it for you guys like a CSI scene. About a couple of years ago, maybe about 3 years ago or something, he decided, oh, you're not gonna get caught. Oh, I could say anything on air, they'll believe it. They'll never question me. As long as I'm feeding them the fake populism, the red meat that they want. Oh, the immigrants are the problem. They're trying to replace you. Your culture is sacred and these people are gonna make it dirty, et cetera, et cetera. Once he gave him that pill, then he realized, oh, I'm above the law. It doesn't matter that I'm fake. It doesn't matter that I'm a giant liar. None of it matters. They'll believe everything I say. Look at what Trump did. They believed everything he said.
Even if he doesn't mean what he's saying, even if he's lying, you also have to keep in mind that he is providing publicity, PR for a certain type of ideology in the country, and just having that represented makes people happy.
Oh, for sure.
So, let's just keep it real. So when we talk about like, oh, but don't you hate being lied to? No, they don't care because they want to further what his message is. He is furthering their message. right?
Yeah, and if you're a lib, don't get too happy because listen, guys, I've called the news anchors on cable and television news actors for now like a couple of decades, right? And so you think Anderson Cooper is not a news actor? He's the heir to the Vanderbilt fortune. So he comes on and tells his version of the story, and his version of the story is corporations are great, the status quo is perfect, nothing should be changed, don't worry about the rich, don't worry about the powerful, etc. So all of these guys are actors. They almost all their personas are characters that are shtick. So that's why, like, yeah, Tucker is the worst of them because he does what Anderson Cooper won't do. Anderson Cooper gives you a very misleading story framed completely in a twisted way with omissions and acts of commission as well, but mainly he doesn't take facts and reverse them. Tucker goes the extra mile because he knows right-wingers don't mind that at all. Like for the left, if you see an outward lie that really bothers you and you don't like it if Joy Reid or Anderson Cooper does that. But if you never know that they left out the most relevant facts, I mean, the example I always use is Jake Tapper says a study by a university showed that Medicare for all costs $32 trillion. Now, if you saw that, he's not lying, there was such a study, it was at a university, but he left out that it's Koch brothers funded, and even they found out that it saves you $34 trillion. So those are giant lies by omission, purposely meant to deceive you into being against a policy that you love. So those guys trick you against what you want. To be fair to Tucker Carlson, he tricks you in a way the right wingers do want. They want him to play that character, and he plays it brilliantly.
All right, so do you want to get to some of this other stuff? Because dude's worth around $30 million, okay? His yearly salary is between $8 and $10 million. He's also, of course, the heir to the Swanson fortune. So like, how much money do you need? I don't really understand it, but okay, fine. And during his appearances on Bubba the Love Sponge, but back in 2008 and 2009, he blatantly admitted that he is in fact an elitist and very proud of it. Let's watch.
But one thing you learn when you grow up in a castle and look out across the moat every day at the hungry peasants out in the village is you don't want to stoke envy among the proletariat.
How do you pay your bills?
Well, I'm like extraordinarily loaded just from like money I, inherited from my number of trust funds.
From the Swanson.
Yeah, totally.
From the Swanson deal. You're just living. You're a trust fund baby, are you not?
Oh, completely. I've never needed to work. Yeah, I mean, it's all just the whole cable news thing was just a total pose. It was like a phase I was going through.
You're about the most unordinary person I know. You're an elitist. You're an ass.
No. But see, I'm an out of the closet elitist. I don't run around pretending to be a man of the people. I'm absolutely not a man of the people at all.
He certainly pretends to be the man of the people these days. That's his whole shtick on Fox News now, going back to what he accused Bill O'Reilly of doing. And he has even admitted on the record that he lies on his show. He lies to his audience, and he said as much during a conversation with Dave Rubin.
Well, I guess I would ask myself, like, I lie. If I'm really cornered or something, I lie. I really try not to. I try never to lie on TV. I just don't, I don't like lying. I certainly do it, out of weakness or whatever.
Just notice the Roosevelt dead framed article behind him because he's a piece of crap. Absolute garbage person. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, he's like out of a movie. He's like the girl with the dragon tattoo. He's the rich guy who's got people tied up and just likes fascism, likes dominating other people and oppressing them. And so he admitted to you there, he's a giant elitist, an heir to a fortune. He's the least populist guy in the world. And then he turned around and pretended to be a populist because he's having fun and he wants to seize power and oppress everyone else. He's one of the sickest people I've ever seen in my lifetime. But hey, if you look up to that and you think a guy who brags about lying to me and playing a character, the guy who said in the documents that we have definitively now that he didn't believe Trump, he thought Trump was a demonic monster, he has no regard for his audience, and by the way, he did the same exact thing as O'Reilly that he mentioned in that tape, which is barking at subordinates, he said. And in his case was to get a reporter at Fox News fired for telling the truth. So if that's what you like, there's literally nothing I can do for you. Please get help. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.